outside today?
Yeah.
Um, the Yesterday with Coach Corbin, I'm curious what you know about Vanderbilt baseball.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. They do a great job. It's a great program, and yeah, I have a lot of respect for Coach Corbin and what he does.
Have you had a chance to connect with him prior to yesterday?
Kind of, yeah, familiar with the Vanderbilt situation down there.
Um, Wanted to ask you just about like things that are hard to sort of tell from when we're watching in the media tent, like read progressions, throwing mechanics, like protection identification for quarterbacks, those type of things. Like, what have you observed from Mac Jones in terms of his progress in those areas?
Yeah, I mean, I think look, I think all our players are making progress out there. They should be. We've been, practicing, basically every day now for, over, getting into week 2 here. So, you know, everybody's getting better day by day, and we still have a lot of things to go over. We don't, have all of our, we still don't have all of our plays in. That'll go a few more days here. We're certainly getting closer, but yeah, I mean that's really what we're doing here. We've had 2 days to. Well, this will be the second day where we actually can go out there and play football, and the rest of it's kind of an extension of the spring. And by the time we get done with this week, we'll have the majority of our stuff installed, and then we can spend a little more time evaluating how everything is coming together next week.
And one more follow up. Josh McDaniels joked yesterday that Mac is good at getting yelled at, and I'm curious what you've seen from him is how he's taken Mac hard coaching, which seems like it's not the first time that he's taken that.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask him about other coaches he's had and all that. I'm not really sure about that. Um, our job's to coach the players and try to help them improve and make the team better. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm sure that's what Josh is trying to do. That's what all the coaches are trying to do.
Next question, Henry McKenna, followed by Arnav Sharma.
Morning, Bill. I've got another Mac Jones question for you. In the pre-draft process, a lot of his coaches were talking about how thorough he is off the field to get ready to play on the field. And I know, you've coached Tom and now Cam, extremely diligent quarterbacks, but to what degree have you observed Mac Jones' ability to get the homework done, to go the extra mile, and be prepared?
Yeah, I think all of our quarterbacks are working hard. I mean, Mac's working hard. They're all working hard. He's got a long way to go. He's making progress, but it's it's a lot to cover, and a lot of things to understand. And we haven't really gotten into situational football yet, at least not very much of it. So there's a lot of volume there. We're working our way through it, but that's the process, and that's where we are at this time of year. So I don't really think there's any way to make two days become one or 2 practices become one. We just got to take it day by day and get the most out of each opportunity that we have. And I feel like really all of our players are trying to do that, and but we need a lot more of them. That's all.
Stacey, is it a one question morning, or can I get another?
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. This one's about Nikhil. When I spoke to Herm Edwards a few years ago, he was sort of speaking to the patience that New England should have with Nikhil in terms of him developing. Do you ever sort of preach patience to Nikhil in terms of his development and his expectations for himself to have an impact on the team?
Yeah, my focus with each player is to try to help them get better, to improve, to help them be contributors to a high degree and as much as possible to the team. So that's really how I approach every player. It's not each player is different, each situation is different, but generally speaking, that's really what it comes down to. Each player wants to maximize his performance, try to maximize his opportunities with the team, and our job as coaches is to help the players, each individual player, do that, and then ultimately, however the competition unfolds, it unfolds. We can't control that, so that's up to the individuals that compete and perform. But that's the way I look at it.
And Arnav
Thank you.
Sharma, followed by Maury Hirschcourt. Go ahead, Arnav.
Hi, Coach. Good to meet you. So there's been a lot of discourse on the QB competition, but I'm curious about the running back competition as well. At this point, is there a clear starter, or will the offense kind of operate by committee as usual, or how do you see that going?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. It depends on how the players, play and compete and how they perform. We've had one day of practice, so it's kind of hard to really evaluate, especially at that running back position where so much of it involves, the opportunity for players to make yards with the ball in their hands and how effective they are doing that. That's not something we've had a lot of opportunity to do. But it is what it is. So, yeah, I don't know how things are going to turn out. That's up to the people that are competing and how they perform.
Thank you. And another question. In padded practice, Josh Uche seemed to stand out quite a bit, especially in the one-on-one drills. Could you speak a bit to his development from year 1 to year 2, and as well as how his role in the defense may have evolved or changed, if at all?
Yeah, again, I don't know what his role will be. That'll be up to him. But one-on-one drills are a good time for each player to focus on those individual techniques and fundamentals that apply to that drill. Usually, what you see is especially after you do it the first time, that there's a level of improvement. From the first time to the second time to the third time and so forth until, players get comfortable. So, some guys might start faster than others. Some guys, might not have a good first day. And it's always good to take advantage of every opportunity you get. I'm not trying to minimize that, but at the same time, we got a long way to go. I don't think you can evaluate players based on, one play or, 2 one-on-one pass rushes or whatever. It's a lot more than that. So, we'll see how things go in day 2, see how things go in day 3, 4 pads, then preseason games and so forth, and see what the volume looks like. But I don't think we can make big evaluations on 1 or 2 plays. It's a lot more than that. But hopefully we'll get to that volume and be able to make good decisions. But I would say we're not anywhere close to that now.
Next question, Maury Hirschcourt, followed by Phil Perry.
Hey, Bill, good morning.
Morning.
Now that we're a week out from the first preseason game, and there's only 3 preseason games this year as opposed to 4 in years past, how does your approach change as you prepare 2 quarterbacks in Mac and Cam, knowing that there's less preseason game reps to get them ready for the regular season?
Right. Well, we'll worry about the preseason games, this weekend and the Washington game. Start worrying about that. Then the other preseason games are going to involve some kind of a joint practice. So, each situation is a little bit different, but I'd say, we'll take it as it comes. And, right now we're really focused on finishing up this week of training camp, really our first full week, and after the startup period from last week, and then we'll see where we are over the weekend, and then set a course for the next 3 days in preparation for the Washington on Thursday. So we kind of have to look at this in pretty short windows. As far as talking about second and third preseason game and all that, I mean that's way too far away. Biggest thing we need to do is go out and have a good day today and accomplish the things that we want to accomplish today, and then reset our goals for tomorrow and go out there and do it tomorrow and just sustain it day after day. So we'll have to see how those things develop, and we get more information and see how the team and individuals are progressing, and what type of availability we have from each player. Like all that stuff's way too far out to plan right now.
And then as you look, I guess, across the entire team, do guys have to be a little bit more prepared going into the first week, knowing that there are only 3 preseason games? So do they sort of have to expedite the process with everybody as you get on the field in game situations?
Well, I've always approached every opportunity we have as exactly that, an opportunity to improve and get better, both individually, within the unit that we all belong to, and ultimately, with the team. So whatever that opportunity is, whether it's practice, a joint practice session, a preseason game, whatever it is, like those are opportunities, and we want to take advantage of them and get the most out of them. And if we don't, then we're missing that opportunity, and we're not going to get it back because we're going to go on to something else the next day. So, I would hope that every player, every coach, that all of us will do that. That whatever opportunity we get to play or coach or participate on the field in whatever the activity is, that we would be prepared for it, would go out there and do our best and learn from it, and whatever level that is, build it up higher and improve the next time. That's what I would hope everybody would do. That's why we're doing it. So however many opportunities it is, it is.
My apologies, guys. I'm not going to get to everybody, but we'll take 2 final questions. We'll go Phil Perry and Bob Sosa.
Hey, Bill, obviously, you guys are no strangers to working in this kind of weather, but always good to get a little refresher for us. What are some of the benefits to working in conditions like the ones you'll see today, and might they impact the kinds of things that you can work on in practice?
Yeah, well, again, whatever it is, it is. I can't control that, so looks like the field will be wet. If it rains, it rains. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it's hot, it's hot. If it's not, then that's what it is. So, it's really nothing's changed. It's just good fundamentals, good ball security. Like being aware of the conditions that we're in can be significant. A little more focus on looking the ball in and so forth, but ultimately the game's played against a competitor, and so we're not out there playing the weather. We're the offense is competing against the defense, and defense is competing against the offense, and all we do is worry about keeping our hands dry. Then it's probably not going to be a lot of good results. But if that's what it is, then however that applies to an individual's particular fundamental and technique, if there has to be a little bit of accommodation made there, then hopefully they'll learn how to make that, I would say, relatively minor adjustment. But again, the most important thing for us is to execute the assignments and then the proper techniques and fundamentals that go with those assignments. Like, that's really what we need to improve on as a football team, and hopefully that's what we'll get out of today's practice.
Last question, Bob Sosa.
Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Bob.
I want to ask you a question related to something we saw after practice, I think on Monday, when Nancy Meier was on the field for a photo with members of your personnel department. Season number 47 for her. We've seen women now coaching in the Super Bowl. The Women's Football Forum has grown a lot. I know you spoke to it virtually this year at the Combine. How do you describe Nancy's place, importance overall in the game of football, professional football, and obviously with the Patriots after so many seasons of service?
Well, Nancy's one of those unique individuals that kind of makes everything work. She interacts with virtually everybody, scouts, coaches, players, and other support staff. She, puts a lot of things together in her job description, of what she actually does. I mean, it's probably 50 pages long. And there's so many little things that wouldn't even make that list, but they would come up from day to day, or maybe not even day to day. It might be once a year that she handles because of her experience and thoroughness and preparation. And so, again, it would really be impossible for me to go through her whole list of things. And again, that changes from the regular season to the draft to the off-season program to if we're on an extended away trip and things like that. So it's a very, I would say, lengthy and comprehensive set of things that she handles, and that includes not only the players and staff and so forth, but also families and things that are related to those individuals as well. And that would also extend into some logistics and travel and so forth. So she's great to work with. She's got a great attitude, a great temperament. She deals with all the people and all the personalities, thousands of them, coaches, players, and other people through the course of her career. And I think probably everybody has kind of the same feeling for her, which is pretty remarkable that she could have that type of positive relationship with so many people on so many different levels. And again, I extend all that to multiple family members or so forth that are involved in game day things and travel and tickets and relocation and so forth and so on. So she never forgets a name, doesn't forget a face, knows how everybody's connected to everybody else. It's very remarkable. She's very unique, and like I said, it's a very comprehensive group of things that she does. But then on the real football side of it, a lot of transactions and things that go on with the league, which on the player personnel end can be complex and have to be are timely, have to be done at certain times or by certain times, or all those kind of things. And although she doesn't make the final decisions, obviously she has to manage all the transactions, league communication, player communication, the medical, like all the things that have to happen in the acquisition or release of a player. Especially at the major cut down dates and things like that, or post draft when free agent signing days and those type of things. The wheel can get spinning pretty fast, but amazingly she can stay on it or slow it down, however you want to look at it. So yeah, thanks for the question. It's great. Very, very, very important person in the organization.
Thanks for the answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That
All right.
answer just made my day. I can't wait to share it with Nancy. Thank you very much, Coach. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.